Hey, Vlogalogue, how are you guys doing? I'm actually pretty okay. I am wondering where the heck this week went by because it went by a lot faster than I expected it to. But maybe that's just because, life happens and things go by faster than you expect them to sometimes. Anyways, so this week we're talking about words. And normally that's probably one of the most entertaining questions you can ask an English major is their favorite or least favorite word because we all probably have an answer. And I've heard some of the discussions, and it's kind of just intriguing to see the reasons why people dislike a specific word or why you won't ever see them use that word or whatever. Like, it's always really interesting to me, like, hearing about these books that are made that, like, there's a book, and I think it was originally written in French, or I just could be completely missing it, and it has nothing to do with the French author or written in French or anything, that is like a little under 200 pages and doesn't contain a single verb. Or there's another book that doesn't contain the letter E. And those things are like crazy, and I don't know why people put themselves through it, but it's considered an art form, and more power to them for being able to do that, because I don't know how I'm going to write an entire book without using the words be or the. Um, and other than that, like, it's also, you can get a lot of, particularly for people who are English majors who are seeking it for writing in the future in any form. One of the things you'll see from them is they'll have some conversation about that one word that they just can't stop using in their writing. And it's not like they do it intentionally. It's just every time they go and edit, it's there 80 times in a piece when it only really needs to be there like maybe 40 or less. And it's just one of those really entertaining things that you learn about yourself, because over the past year I found a couple of my words that I tend to like to use a lot. So it's just fun about being aware of typing and or writing, because there are people who handwrite, and there are also people who use typewriters to still write, which is a different conversation. But unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. Like, I have my words that I overuse, but I don't hate those words. I just kind of like have to be very wary of the use of those words. Um, and stuff, so I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about words. Except I do at the same time. Like, I don't have strong feelings about very specific words that I could talk about and, not face, oh, well, that's an obvious one you should, like, dislike type of problem. So, but, I mean, it's also complicated. Why would you ask an English major this question, Alex? It's like you're asking me to choose which tool is my favorite, and they all function well so long as you use them properly. And there's none that I really tend to see used improperly or stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, I can't choose a word that I strongly like or dislike, because I can't think of one I strongly dislike. And I definitely can't think of one I strongly like. So that's kind of where I am right now. Yeah, no, words are just beautiful ways of communicating with people, and I don't have strong feelings about them, um, unless they decide that while I'm trying to sit down and write, they don't want to pop into my head about how I want to put them down on a page. But that's yeah. See, that's most of my problem is I'll sit down in front of a computer and just the words won't come, and it's mean because they're supposed to show up. Um, Not like it's like a magical process where I summon words to appear on a page. Though that'd be a kind of really cool way to go about writing if that's how it worked, if you just summon the words somehow. But that's getting tangenty. Um, yeah, so I don't have strongly favored words or disliked words. I just like using a lot of words in general. Um, I think I also, oh, okay, but I think this is perfect time to talk about something that I just don't understand because I don't quite get it. Like, I don't know if it's one of those things that, it either happens to you, like, you either it's one of the things that it affects you or it doesn't. But like people who don't like specific words, like the sound, particularly for the sounds of it, like moist, I don't get the whole thing about people disliking the word moist because like everything about it just seems wrong. Like I don't get that. Like moist just means wet. What? Moist is the same as damp, but you have no problem with damp, but you have a problem with moist. Or like even for the sound thing, like you don't like moist but you're okay with most or hoist and stuff like that. And I'm like, it doesn't make, I don't understand why this word bothers you so much. And like there's like a list of like common words, but I think moist is the one I've heard the most that people have a problem with, and I don't understand it. Like if any of you guys watching this have a problem hearing that word, I apologize for how many times I've said it in the past minute, but if you could please explain to me what it is about it, I don't understand, like, how the sound of the word, like, some people say it just sounds wrong or something, but it doesn't sound as wrong to me as signs that I've seen. Like, there is even a sign at work, that, like, I just read it and I'm like, how did they, like, write that out and not realize that it sounded wrong, because it was like keep hands and feet inside the log, keep seated, and then it like and keep seated, and I'm like, keep seated, that doesn't sound right, that no, it like it just didn't sound right, and I'm like, no, why? And it's only like one sign, because all the other ones say keep your hands and feet inside the boat at all times, remain seated. And I'm like, that's how you're supposed to do it, because it's not keep seated, because something about that just doesn't sound right. And that I can understand, because it sounds like something more of a problem with your word choice and like sort of diction, or like just even kind of grammar, like it just doesn't sound right. And it's one of the things you learn from very early on, is that if something doesn't sound right to you, you look for a problem, because you need to rearrange the sentence. Like, it's one of the easy ways you learn to write in middle school, or at least that's a lot of what my experience was, is read it out loud. If it sounds awkward or weird, change it, because there is something wrong. Mainly possibly because it's like really awkward wording, like the whole keep seated thing. That just like, seeing that sign and reading it out loud, I was just like, that just sounds awkward and weird, and why didn't we change this? Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end my rant, and ramble, because it's not really a rant, my ramble of things, because I don't have a favorite word to talk about. Yeah, so, bye Vlogalogue!